I guess like our last session, or like what do you play generally now?
So
What hit scan?
well, since we last met, I started focusing on just DPS. I mostly play like Sojourn and Ash. I have
Right.
like I've put hours into like Pharah, Tracer, Genji, McCree, like so depending on like situationally, especially with hero bans, sometimes I'll like pull one of those out, but for the most part I'm just trying to play Sojourn and only play Ash if I like actually have to, like they have a Pharah or something like that. Um I do think that my aim is just mechanically awful from like zimming on PlayStation. Like I think my aim is very lazy and like
All right.
depends a
Right.
lot on aim assist. And I fucked around with a bunch of different sensitivities over the last 6 months. And like uh, I play on 1600 DPI. Like what I was using on PlayStation was 1.5 sensitivity. I got to PC and saw people using like 3.5, so I tried that for a while. Did like aim labs like diagnostic thing that suggested like 2.4. Finally like gave up on all that, went back to 1.5 and have been doing pretty well with that. Uh,
Mm. Yeah.
but
I mean, it's not surprising to hear that you were zimming and then you get to PC and then your aim becomes a little bit or noticeably like worse because of how the aim assist is on console. I in terms of your hero pool, it's fine to like one thing I really try to strongly advise players is to try your best to not swap because there are going to be situations where you need to learn how to play a character in a suboptimal matchup. So it is good to hear that you are mainly playing Sojourn, but especially at your kind of elo, if and especially with how good Sojourn is, if you're feeling compelled to swap off the character, it's probably a skill issue. Is what I say to most players. Like
yeah,
like for example, like a better example would be like playing Malga into Ana Zen. But yeah, okay, yeah, see here, yeah, Sojourn's is fine. Thankfully, hero bans for your character aren't like too. There's no specific hero bans for your hero really. It's again not like Malga or something. It's more of a map specific thing or what your teammates really want to ban. Um, yeah, we'll
what I've been
see.
doing with bans usually is like just banning the skinny tanks.
Oh yeah, because it's hard to farm railgun off of. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone bans Sombra now. It is quite wild.
yeah. I don't understand why so many people ban Sombra in this rank, but
It's mainly it's not even that I mean, I actually do think Sombra is really good right now. But it's less so because of that. It's just mostly because people find Sombra really really annoying to play against. Um,
yeah.
it's a similar case in other
Um,
games, sadly. But yeah,
so I'll tell you. So I've watched like a lot of awkward videos, which are like damage before the fight,
right, right,
damage from
yeah.
an off angle, yada yada yada. Um, One of the things that I think that I struggle with is like being able to aim while simultaneously like watching what my team is doing and
Mm,
selecting the right thing to be shooting at. Um, which I mean, you can let me play for a while and watch
yeah,
what you see, but
we'll see, we'll see. I mean, normally, like if you're trying to be aware of what your team's playing, like all it really requires is just a quick flick of your crosshair, just to look at where your team are through the wall, and then you'll go back to shooting. But yeah, we'll see how that pans out.
All of us.
Yeah,
Follow my lead. I've been through more of these than I can count.
the double hit scan mouse. He's end up playing a fairly ranged comp here.
No unnecessary risks.
See what your tank picks.
5, 4,
right, interesting.
Okay,
1. Round 1.
right.
Let's get this done.
Yeah, going right side's fine.
Kind
Okay,
of set up differently than my soldier.
okay, gold. They will
Ball.
ball player. Fine, right side that's fine. Ball Genji. Okay, so the key thing here is to force out and Tracer as well. You really need to force out the Tracer and Genji before you look to go in here. Coming up ball's fine. Distance is fine there. Right on a Velga, nice. Just force out the ball. Force him out, force him out. Nice, now you can walk up a little bit more. Okay, should have saved Velgun there for the Tracer, but that's fine. Force out the Tracer. Okay, Tracer no recall. Okay. That's... You might have lost this fight already. Maybe not. You can spam on the ball. Fine. He's low, that's fine. You can keep pushing the ball, keep pushing the ball. Take that angle to the right, nice. Okay, spam the Genji, that's all good. The shot's nice. Let's spam, nice. Genji's one. Okay, not too bad there, brought it back. Okay, that's fine. Try and take the high ground behind you in the pre-fight. There we go, nice. Okay, spam up the Tracer, good stuff. You can think about disrupting shotting the Tracer early here as well. Okay, fine, nice, nice. So whenever you're spamming at the ball, actually I'm still fighting here, so I'll mention it mid-round probably. Okay, fine. Put on the ball, fine. Pulse back to your Zen, that's okay. Okay. You try and play a little bit to the right side here. Maybe the sort of shot behind you, nice. And keep pushing the high ground, force the ball. Fine. Rotating that back is fine. Try and look for a squishy. Okay, more no fade. Okay. Fine, fine. You can maybe look for a railgun onto the Tracer here, like, that's fine. Okay, more is low. Okay. Wouldn't have Tracer for the kill that, so yeah. Got a bit too much going on here, but one thing you could have done there is slide to the high ground and then pop your overclock, and then you've got a massive angle to actually look for targets instead of committing onto the Moira there. But not a major mistake. So far, positionally, you're doing relatively okay actually. Okay. Okay. Just be careful about walking up here. Slide back to your team. Okay. No deflect. You can push up a little bit here just to get some general spam, but again, do be wary of sliding back. You can trace us to your right, I believe. Okay. Fine. Yeah, just spam out the mines, nothing crazy there. All good. You can push to the left side a little bit. Okay, I'll slide back out. Unfortunate, stay with Zen, stay with the Zen. Okay. Okay, nice. Try and slide back up to your team if you can. Unfortunately. So they use Blade, they use Mines, they use Coalescence there. Quite a lot of ultimates. And you only use Trance for that. It's not. Oh, and okay, then my Primal, but nothing crazy. Okay. Try and go right side this time. Go right side, go right side. So you've got access to high grounds. Okay, consider overclocking this fight as well. Okay. You might need to overclock this. Okay. Yes. Okay, fine. Nice. Fine. Nice shots. Okay. Try and silence your Winston's goal. Okay, unfortunate. Okay, starting away is fine. Fine. Try pulse at the Genji. Okay, so you can farm way off the ball and then try and shoot the Genji. Okay, Genji's dead. Just the ball. Just the ball. Okay. Spam the ball. Spam the ball. It's just him. Oh, Tracer's back now. Try and slide back to behind you to the high grounds. Nice, nice. Okay. Where you're playing right now is completely fine. Pulse at Tracer. Nice. Okay. Think about the sort of shot on the Mercy here when you guys go for a res. Okay, fine. Fortunate miss on the rail there. Okay. Shooting balls here is fine. They can try and look for a rail into the Genji. Unfortunate. Down the ball again. Just after throwing him is fine. Okay, you got the point flip now, so it's all good. You can play a little bit slower here. You can trace this to your left, try and look for a rail into her. Okay. Unfortunate, still good body shots. Okay. Let's slide to the high ground where your Mercy is. Oh, nice. Okay, nice kill on the Moira there. Really good, really good. Spam out the ball. Okay. There we go, finally dead. Just the Genji and one other character. You can just up the shot in front of your feet. Nice. Flipped away. Okay, nice. It almost died there, but again, that slide to the high ground is really important. Could have done it a little bit earlier, but good that you did it and ended up getting that kill. Okay, spam on the ball. Think about power sliding behind you if you need to. Yeah, slide behind you, slide behind you. Ooh. Yeah, you can just slide behind you. That's a little bit too aggressive there to match the Genji and Blade. That's probably going to be rounds. Or maybe not. That's winnable for your team.
Get yourself together.
Okay. Your team's clutching up right now. Okay. Some of the ball, that's fine. Be careful of walking too far onto point because you're going to be in open space. And get ready to pass us to the high ground again if you need to. The ball goes on to you. Okay. Fine. Okay. You can maybe go to the high ground now actually to get a better angle. Okay. Sure. Nice. Okay. All decent. No, those should be dead though, hopefully. I got, can someone kill a fucking Tracer? There we go. Yeah, not too bad there actually. I thought like you were gonna be dying a lot more against they're running, or they were running a very heavy dive comp. Full Tracer Genji. So I was surprised that you guys actually managed to pull out that round there. You didn't die too often. As long as, again, something that you need to be keeping in mind of is trying not to stay in the same position for too long. Of course, we'll talk about this after the game itself, but trying to not stay in the same position for too long. Otherwise, they will just dive you, and you become very killable. So again, making sure you're constantly moving around the map. Barring that, nothing. Creative mechanics are fairly good. Of course, keeping Railgun for, you know, farming off the ball and only railing him unless he's like really, really low. But barring that, mechanics have actually been pretty sharp so far. And maybe a little bit of more disrupt the shot usage. Okay.
You're saying use it more frequently?
Yeah, like if a Genji's good, if a Tracer's on a corner, then you can disrupt the Tracer to force her out. But yeah. Okay. Okay, less mobile comp, which is good. It means you can play a little more aggro. Okay. You can maybe even slide to the right side on point, the little high gun thing. If you need to. Okay. Pulls up Tracer. Alright, okay. Okay. A little bit slow to try and pin out if you can. Oh, I missed the spot slide. I might kill the Cassidy. Okay, he's one. Okay. I'll push the line here, that's fine. Nice. Go right side, nice. Get high ground. Okay. Kill the Cassidy. I'll slide up to the top right. Sojourn's low. Also, Sojourn's low. Just kill the Moira here. Power side's fine. Nice. Okay. Okay. Fine. Again, you can push up a lot more to the top left side here to look for a better angle. Okay.
You're saying I should be a top left?
Yeah, it should be top left because then you're just shooting the Ryan here. You can get looking for a Railgun on top of the Moira, on top of the Cassidy while you were shooting the Ryan. There we go, better flank. Okay. 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 Nice. Okay, maybe could have pulsed it out that Cassidy's LOS, but barring that, nothing crazy. Maybe use DS here or just off the shots. Okay. You need to be using DS here. Meaning to stop the shots.
Yes.
To stop the shots.
Oh.
It's way easier to say. Again, notice how you never used it onto the Tracer. That was like a
Yeah.
something you could use it and then force her out. If I say DS, I mean to stop the shots.
Got it.
Okay. Running around here is fine. Winds going in. I would walk forward a little bit more here. There we go. Nice. Great angle. Great angle. Look for the Juno if you can. Unfortunate. That was a good. Like more of that needs to happen. Like you looking for that angle when your winds is going in. Okay. Again, Tracer's onto you.
Am I ult here?
You don't need to. You can keep your ults. Again, I'll play back to point. Play a little bit more back to point. You've got to clear retreat off. Yeah. Fight out. Force out Tracer. Nice. Okay. Now you. Okay. On the line. You can walk up a little bit more here. Don't pick the high. Ooh, scary. Yeah, just get healed up here. Okay. When they come at the point, like now, okay, go left side on the high ground and look to OC. Okay. That's fine. Patience. Slow. Take your time. Nice. You can maybe even pass that onto the Juno. Nice. The high ground. More in a fade. Look for Moira. Nice. Slide top right. Yeah, to the high ground. Oh, you get gripped out anyways. Okay, spam the Ryan. And take the high ground, take the high ground, take the high ground, to your left, to your left, to your left. Okay, nice. Look for the Tracer. Unfortunate. Oh, I got caught out there. But not too bad though, actually. You got 2 kills that fight. Unfortunately, you messed up the power side there while you were overclocking, and you were a little bit too rushed with your shots there. But had you been high grounds, could have been very nice. Okay, one more fight and then you win this, hopefully. Maybe. Okay, Reaper's gonna die here. Yeah, just play a little bit. Yeah, chillax.
Everyone on me.
All right. You can walk forward here. You can walk forward. Found the Ryan. There's a little doorway to your left that you can take. Okay. That's unfortunate. Your Winston dies there. Okay. There's gas to your left there. Yeah, you're still down your tank here, so keep that in mind. Down Weaver now. Okay, look for the cast. For the cast, you can walk a bit more forward here. Walk a bit more forwards. Unfortunate. He's one. Nice. Ah, that's unfortunate. You're fine. You can take the high ground to your top left here. Okay. Farm rail, look for the Tracer. Nice DS. That's unfortunate. Okay, so when you put the DS down, I want you to walk forward on the high ground more. Yeah, that's what I mean by constantly moving.
Yeah.
So that stuff like that doesn't happen to you. Okay, you might lose those rounds. Maybe not. You take that angle here. Be careful of the Cassidy. Nice to stop the shots. Nice. Okay. Let's look at the cast 1. Nice. Look at the Ryan. Just ban the Ryan. Spam the Ryan. Okay. Okay, maybe you win that. Go top left now. You got overclock this fight as well. I'm not sure if they can touch. Okay, nice. Alright, still a lot of stuff to go through. A lot of decent stuff though, actually, but still a lot of stuff to go through with that game. Okay. Okay, now if you show the codes, history, replays, as game report. There we go. Then share.
Oh shit,
As
that's
view.
not.
Ready for battle.
There we go.
There we go.
Right, now I'll start showing. Z W. Well, I've got it already, don't worry. There we go. So actually not too bad of a game there. I actually think mechanically you were fairly strong. Barring some like impatience on the overclocks, which we'll get into. Again, I don't think from that game it doesn't look like mechanics are the main thing holding you back. And actually I think you played again maybe as a slightly better game than average there. I'm actually again shocked that you're running a very squishy backline against a very aggressive like front line here. And again, this is kind of the thing I said at the beginning where on paper your comp loses to this comp, or like your comp is not a great matchup into this comp. That's what most people would probably naturally think, especially on a map like this. But you managed to make it work, and I think it's very common for players to swap off something like a Cassidy, or just go like a band-aid fix instead of learning how to play the character. So it's good that again you did fairly well here. Okay, going top right here. Again, you don't know what they're running, so this is again fairly reasonable. High gun's got like, a lot of distance. You've got cover. You can see everything. So good angle to take here. And I'll do this. I'll give you a framework, and this is something that I use to coach high-level players. I used to coach teams. I used to coach again in any sort of ranged comp into a dive comp. So in your comp's ranged here. Again, I don't think I've explained this to you beforehand, but I have a framework called SPAR, which stands for Scouts, Prevent, Absorb, and then Rotate. Now, for simplicity's sake, we can forget about Scout for now, and these are like 3 stages that you need to do to play against their comp. Right, so Prevent, what all that means is that you, again, prevent their frontline. So when I mean frontline, I'm referring to the Tracer, to the Genji, and to the Bull. You prevent their frontline from getting good angles before they dive you. Very simply put, and this is something that is, you're playing in gold, so this is never going to happen in a billion years. But if you're playing against a good dive comp, their ball, if I draw it out here, that's not great POV. Their ball, their Tracer, their Genji, like their ball will take an angle here. Their Genji might be playing over here, or might be playing over here, like some kind of high grounds. And their Tracer will also be staged behind you, so like maybe in the room, like somewhere over here, maybe going with the ball as well. And the key thing to understand is that it's very, very, very hard for you as Sojourn, or just in general actually, to absorb a good dive. And a good dive, what that means is the ball has got a good angle. Tracer and Genji, they've got good angles too. It's almost impossible. And that's why the preventing the dive from even happening in the first place is really, really vital. And that's why the shot usage is so important. Because I'm sure there's going to be many cases as we watch back this game where the Genji or the Tracer, they're playing a corner that you can force them out from with the stop the shots. And if you force them out, you prevent them from diving you in the first place. And that's why that stage is so important. The absorb stage is fairly obvious, but it basically...
Let me stop you for 1 second. So like in where we are right now, how is using DS to prevent that? Are you talking about put it like 5 feet in front of Genji so he doesn't want to walk through it? Or
I'm talking more generally, not right now because he's obviously deflecting right now. Okay. But more generally, yeah, like if you saw the Tracer here, so like say you rolled out here and saw the Tracer, yeah, absolutely put the DS on this corner to force the Tracer out. Because if you're a Tracer, now you need to either, you basically need to move it to a different piece of cover, and you're going to take damage from that. You're going to slow down the dive, you're going to make it more likely that she's going to have to waste blinks, waste time, maybe even get a Regal Force out, and you can even, again with high-level Sojourn players, they can even sneak in railguns too, when the Tracer's out in open space. You take quite a lot of time to hit your railguns, which is fine. It's better than, rushing them out all the time, almost like we saw in Overclock. But yeah, again, it's something to keep in mind of, because it is something that you'll see a ton of, just not just high-level Sojourns, but high-level players do all the time. Same thing when you're playing Ashe too. You mentioned you play a little bit Ashe as well. But Dynamite is even better, right? You Dynamite this near the corner here, Dynamite above the Genji, and then same kind of idea. Obviously Dynamite's better than the stop the shot for using that. So yeah, I mean, you could even, again, I wouldn't even mind, again, first fight, you don't know what they're running here. So again, I'm fine with you keeping your disruptor shot, but I wouldn't even mind you disruptor shotting the Genji after he's used deflect, or after he's not going to deflect your disruptor shots. Because again, it forces him to move away. It forces him to move in a position to where you can potentially land some SMG shots or land a railgun. So yeah. Second thing, the absorb thing. Yeah, fairly self-explanatory. You did this yourself. Basically, what that means is power sliding to a position to where the dive characters, so the ball, the Tracer, the Genji, they can't really reach you, right? So the best example we saw was you playing over here, sliding up right over here, avoiding the ball, avoiding the Tracer, and then getting a really nice railgun onto someone there. That's really that's literally like really high level stuff that I would expect like high level Sojourn players in Masters to be doing all the time. Again, it's unfortunate that again it's a little bit slow. Because you almost died for it, but again, it's good that you did actually do it. Another part of absorbing comes into distance as well. So, of course, and it overlaps between the prevent and absorb stage, because the further you are away, the easier it is to absorb the Genji. Right? He's very far away here. If he dives you, of course it's going to be very easy to absorb. You just slide away, right? Not that difficult. So distance is also another factor too. And then rotate, again, very self-explanatory. Basically, what that means is after the front line have been forced out, you push up / walk up. Yeah, that's all it really means. Right? And again, we kind of saw it here again, right, where you absorb the dive by sliding to high grounds, and then this is also a rotate because you managed to again catch someone down in this little room over here. Again, it's really important that you pay attention to the when you go from absorbing to rotating, you pay attention to the cooldowns of these guys here, right? So you know, or you'll know when you've absorbed the dive when this person hasn't got recall, when this person hasn't got when he's deflecting out and he hasn't got he's dashed away, when this person has used his pole driver and he's rolling away. That's when you know you've absorbed a dive. Is when these guys have used their cooldowns and they're also low HP, or they're lower HP. But yeah, I think it's best to explain this kind of thing visually, and you can walk through the stages. But yeah, I like sort of like describing it like that because when you're playing the game against like a dive comp, you can have that visual sort of framework or template to sort of understand. Okay, this is what I'm doing now. I'm about to enter the rotate stage, and here's an angle I can move to now, etc. It's a very sort of formulaic sort of template you can use. But yeah. But again, here we're all preventing. Again, here's like I just mentioned it, right? But a DS here would be very nice. But yeah, especially even there as well.
Because what do you think a DS would do there? Because like one blink and the tracer's gone, and I've burned my 15-second cooldown.
Right, so it's kind of twofold here, right? So there's either two things the tracer can do, and she kind of does the latter. So the first thing that she can do is hold the cover here, in which case, like I explained, she'll blink away and move away, and that's completely fine because it slows down the dive, right? If she's playing here, over here, and blinks away over here, then that's going to make sure that she's not timed, or she's not going to be diving with her ball. That makes it easier to absorb the dive. So again, it makes it harder for harder for them to stage. The second thing, which is what she does, is you can hold on to it, and then just by shooting at her, you'll force blinks. So she's already used 2 blinks here, and then you can DS it, because she's already burned most of her mobility resources. So yeah, so the DSing here would be fine or more reasonable. Okay, you could even back it up here a little bit, right? But even when the tracer was like over here, you can even DS this room. That's fine as well. Because because again it prevents the ball, it makes it harder for the ball to come in to go through you, and it also makes it harder for the tracer as well, and the Genji to eventually come through this room. Like a DS here, like they need to wait it out essentially. So yeah, a DS on that corner would have also been fine as well. Okay, nice well done. Okay. But yeah, you've absorbed that quite nicely, right? You slid all the way backwards. You went to high. This is probably the best slide you could have done here, honestly. I didn't even know this existed. But yeah, very good slide. Going to high ground, good distance. Avoiding the slam. A tracer can't reach you. Like tons of benefits to this power slide here. So really nice. Again, now we're starting to enter that rotate stage, right? Where the ball's used pole driver. The ball is half HP. He's got no adaptive shields, or he's used his adaptive shields. And he's also discorded here too. And you've also got a Juno kill. So like now we're starting to again enter that rotate stage, and you can see this right naturally because you're walking up, right? And again I mentioned this throughout the live thing too, right? But you can sort of sneak in railguns like this Genji right here, when you can, because the ball here, like if you railgun the ball, he's obviously just gonna tank it, like he's not gonna die to it. Whereas a railgun onto that Genji makes a lot more of an impact. So bear that in mind. You even missed the railgun onto the ball anyways. But yeah. Okay. Alright. Look at that a little bit. Okay. I'm not sure there's much you could have done against the Tracer, really. Again, this is kind of the sad thing about playing such an incredibly swishy backline here. I think what you do is fine. And barring the railgun here. But positionally, I think you're doing A-okay. And funnily enough, actually, had you actually kept the railgun, you could have maybe even railgunned the Tracer. And who knows, maybe that ends up in a kill. But yeah. Okay. Right.
I was gonna ask about that, which is like, a lot of times you're staring at a tank, you farm a railgun up to 100%, and then you're like looking for a squishy to hit with it, and like nothing's appearing.
Right.
And then 5 to 10 seconds more pass, and there's still no squishy in sight, and all you're doing is like right-clicking a tank. Like, do you just railgun the tank at that point?
Right. It's something that I remember you literally did this in the second round, where like you were spamming up the Ryan for like a good 5 or 10 seconds because you couldn't see a target. The biggest or the best piece of advice I can give to that is widen your LOS, such that you can actually see targets on your screen. So we're
so
gonna
instead of staring at a tank,
Instead of
find a
staring-
squishy.
right. I mean, we'll talk about that on second point there. But you could have actually on second point, you could have when you were shooting the Ryan, you could have moved up, widened your LOS, and when you widen your LOS or your line of sights, you'll see more things naturally. So again, while you're walking up here, you're going to just naturally see more, rather than if you stood here. Of course, you can't see the Genji, right, because you're further back. Again, I think this became more evident on second point, where it's a lot more linear of a map compared to this one. So yeah. But in other words, like 9 times out of 10, especially right now when there's only one person that's died here, right? Then that's something that's really important to, I guess, keep note of. Is again, you can actually walk up and rotate, and you will probably find something. Another part of that too is and it's not be something that's harder for you to do, because it might be too hard to like focus on this during the game itself, but also to also pay attention to the cooldowns that have been forced out by this person and this person. So what I mean by that is, we back it up here, right? The Bull's the only person going in here, right? He's kind of inting in. The Genji has not been forced out yet, because he has not even gone in yet. Same thing with the Tracer, right? So the reason why that's important to note or to understand is that you can farm up rail off the ball, and because these characters have not been forced out yet, then you're more likely to find them and look for a railgun. Conversely, if this Genji is, let's say, he was magically here, and he was deflecting, and he was 1 HP, and then he dashed out, and then he started playing this position over here, then it's a lot harder to actually find and see him, because he's already been forced out. So that's something to keep in mind of as well. It's like, who is essentially forced out on this team here? And clearly it's only the Bull, right? It's only the Bull that's actually done anything. So or like, just by virtue of you walking up here because the Genji's not been forced out, or the Tracer as well, you know that they're still in, so you can look for a railgun onto them. Okay. But yeah, let's see here. I don't mind using the DS there, right? I mean, it's not like it's talked about many better DSs you could have done in the pre-fight. Like, and we saw how the Bull just sort of just tanked it and walked past it like it wasn't even there. But yeah, again, I think keeping track of or keeping in mind that, again, these guys haven't been forced out yet. DS in the corner, or any sort of vicinity around here, or maybe the second that you see the Tracer and Genji go on top of your Zen, then DSing makes a little bit more sense to help force them out. Again, it's not ideal, but it would have been better than, again, just DSing a Bull who rolls through it. But yeah. Okay. And then the only thing I can really say here is, where can you maybe slide to for a different or a better angle? Like, where could you maybe move to from here? Like, while you were shooting the Tracer and Genji. With the power slide. Do you think going up here would be a viable choice? I'm not sure if I can hear you. But
Well, sorry, my sound glitched out for a second. What'd you say?
oh yeah, basically, like, where would you move to? Because you got power slide right now, and you're fighting the Tracer and the Genji. Where might you want to move to from here?
Yeah, I mean, I probably could have gone like top right.
Exactly, right. Go top right, get a better angle. And this one small thing that it's not a small thing, but because it is really important. Even high level Sojourns don't do this all the time. And I already alluded to it earlier. But especially against Tracer and especially against Sombra, using high ground is borderline broken, because the Tracer can never go onto you. So again, that's even more of a reason to actually try your best to slide up here. I'm not sure if you can actually do it. I think from here you definitely can. But yeah, something worth keeping in mind or bearing in mind. And almost similar to what you mentioned earlier, right? About how you'll be shooting your SMG and you won't be able to find a target. Had you actually slid over here, let's say you managed to get over here and you drop down, notice how much wider your LOS is. You can see pretty much everything. And this is kind of what I mean. Is that like 90% of the time, if you're moving dynamically enough, you won't have to just be spamming your SMG all the time. Because you'll have LOSs or you'll have a line of sight that allows you to see everything. So yeah. Okay. So of course, that spamming a ball there, completely reasonable. The railgun, completely reasonable. It was very low at the time. A bit unfortunate that he just uses adaptive shields by the time you railgunned him, but in principle, that was completely reasonable. Start up is good, and again, now we're rotating, right? The ball, he just left. He just went out. He just used adaptive shields. The trace is dead. So yeah, now it's time to push up and get value. Which is what you're doing. And DS is good, right? Why is this DS quite good?
Because, I mean, even if they, even if it doesn't get any damage or anything, it's like zoning.
Exactly.
Off from the point.
Exactly, right? It zones them off the point, and you just saw that Genji use dash, right? No matter what, if they want to chase, your soldier, if they want to push back here, they need to take the disruptor shot damage. It's a trade-off they need to make, which is good for you. So, good yes. Ends up getting the Genji really low, and ends up allowing you to swing this corner wide, and allows you to get that finishing blow. I think you also get the Genji here as well. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Small thing as well. For perks, do you have the quick select option on?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay, cool. I think you might, but yeah. Okay. Let's see.
I just, the pulling it up thing is like a nervous habit from before they made you be able to like see which perk you were on when you were selecting it.
Yeah.
Like occasionally forget that I had selected the first one and then select the wrong second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have quick select on it.
That's good to hear. And you can see
what do you use for that?
Yeah. I actually don't even use quick select myself, that's because I'm just too lazy.
All right.
But yeah, if you're trying to play the game competitively, then yeah, it's something that everyone does. And here I want to point out again, like how important, like those shots might not seem meaningful or they might not seem huge, right? But that just prevents of you can't do anything, right? It's by a few shots, and again that's so important. It's unfortunate because you won't ever see how important that is in like the scoreboard or something. But again, it prevents the trace from even doing anything. And if she repeats like this, right, I would stare her down. You don't even need to DS this. Right? She's just feeding her brains out. She's blinking in front of open space while you're pocketed with a fully charged railgun. Like, this is suicide from her. So, yeah, hopefully, I think maybe hit the railgun here. Oh, you just force her out. That's fine as well. Yeah, I don't mind that. And then you hit the railgun. Nice.
Precision and control.
Okay. Right. So now the ball's going on top of, trying to get on top of you, and the Genji staging here as well. So this is where we get to a little bit of scary territory here. Not something that I think is, not something that's completely unfeasible for you to live, but this is what I meant by you can't live good dives, or it's really hard to live good dives. And this is where we also get into a little bit of awareness with your DS too. So let's see if you had any information on the Genji's whereabouts.
Precision and control.
Yeah, so shurikens down main. Right. And it might not be immediately obvious to you, but I know that in higher level play, many Sojourn players would 100% be pre-firing this corner and DSing this corner. And again, the reason why it's so important is, again, the Genji's got two options, right? Well, three options technically. You either waste deflect to deflect your disruptor shot, which again, not ideal for him, because he wants to save deflect to get out. Second option, he saves the deflect, but he needs to go in immediately to not take any damage. Again, good for you, because it means that his dive is mistimed with his ball. Or thirdly, he stays there and waits, which again, good for you, because it means that the ball's only going to be going in by himself. So again, the DS on this corner here is really important to keep the Genji at bay. So yeah, and again, kind of what you mentioned earlier, right? Why this DS was good, even if no one's taking any damage, it just zones off the area. And same idea here, right? It just zones off the corner. But yeah. Okay. I think you did this though. I think you slide back. Nice. That's good.
I was trying to get on high ground, but
yeah, I know you're trying to. Yeah, it's a bit awkward to try and get your feet over here. It's a bit clunky, but again, I think the overall idea is that you managed to live that dive, which is again is really important. So yeah. Okay. Thumb here is good. Okay. Okay. DS is okay. I mean, it's not, I guess, not the best in the world because it's only going for a ball, not a squishy target. But again, it's good in the sense that it's zoning off the sort of stairway here. It makes it hard for anyone to get on top of your Zen. It makes it so that if the ball wants to go on top of your Zen, he needs to be taking DS damage. So it's better than the past DSs that we've seen. One thing I could have maybe seen you do here though is again DS the corner here. And again, same idea, right? She's already used a blink. She's half HP. She's under a lot of pressure right now by you. And again, if I press play, right? I don't know if the Tracer actually does this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Tracer goes in with the ball here, or blinks in with the ball. Where is she at? Did she? Why is she? Oh my days. Yeah, average gold Tracer player. But yeah, if she kept the angle there,
Yeah, that's gold.
yeah. I don't know why even. Hang on. Why did she leave it? She's getting healed by the Mercy, and decides to not dive with her ball. Okay, sure. But obviously, a better Tracer player will blink in once and destroy your Zen, right? And that's a very easy thing for her to do. But again, it makes it harder if she's got DS in the corner here. So yeah. Okay. Okay. And the interesting thing there, I mean, I think taking this angle here is fine, and I don't even mind it, right? But naturally, one thing you could have done, especially when your Zen's peeking here as well, is continue to spam out the ball. He's gonna fuck off and roll away. And again, then once he started to roll away and he started to like leave you guys alone, then you're entering the rotate stage. Then you can pick the Genji or push here, and you get this person, right? You can see a lot more. So yeah. Obviously, this angle's not bad though. It's still a safe angle.
Did you use railgun on that ball up there? Because my thought process was like, I farmed a railgun, ball's starting to fuck off. I should bring railgun over to the squishies and help my tank.
Yeah, that mindset's correct, right? Shoot the ball here, keep the railgun for the squishies, right? Because again, the railgun's not gonna kill the ball here. He's too high HP for it. But yeah, because he's discorded, and because he's got a big hitbox, and because his ends with you as well. Just general SMG shots will force them out. Your SMG does about 130 DPS, I think, maybe a bit higher actually, 140. And with Discord, that goes to like next to 200, so you'll be fine again here. But yeah. Okay. Alright. And like it's a tiny thing, right? But it's something that again, when you mentioned the mechanics at the start of the VOD, it's something that if this was a better mechanical Sojourn player or a Sojourn player that I know personally in tier 3, basically meaning semi-pro play, I know a Sojourn that's gonna hit this railgun immediately. I think for you, it's again I appreciate the fact that you don't rush it out and you keep the railgun. But over time, when you get better with mechanics and again you ease off or you get more used to not having or rinsing off the Zim experience, you'll be quicker with the railguns here. But yeah, because
what I was gonna say is what I generally do. I farmed to 100 on a tank. I then feel like I want to tickle something down like 20% so that I actually get the one shot with the railgun.
Right, and that's the correct mindset, right? It's actually why I mentioned to do it here because your Winston's basically the tickler, so to say. Like your Winston's doing that tickle damage. So yeah, that's kind of like like if you railgun someone here, then he can follow up on someone. But yeah, of course, if you're during, especially someone like a Cassidy or someone like someone who's like generally a little bit higher HP, then yeah, that's completely reasonable. But yeah, mainly because I saw your Winston was aggressing forward here, I was like, yeah, might as well just railgun and then he can finish them off. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right, and again, I appreciate the patience on the railgun, right? But again, because you're less mechanically confident on hitting rolls onto like people like Tracer and whatnot, even if it's just a body shot, again, it just does so much against Tracer right now. I guess one thing you can keep in mind next time is if they're in open space, it becomes a lot easier, or there's a lot more leeway for you to hit your railgun because it's not like this Tracer is jiggle peeking around cover, blinking around like a maniac. She's lackadaisically walking out in open space. So yeah, you can take your time and try and aim up the railgun. Okay.
Rather than doing the whole VOD on or the whole session on one game, do you think we could do one more?
Uh,
I guess we wouldn't be able
yeah,
to
sure, why not?
put
Why
one
not? Why
up,
not? Why
but-
not? Yeah. You can queue one up. And let me see. Yeah, we can screen share again.
See if I can put some of this into effect.
All right. Hopefully we get a slightly different comp matchup here. Rather than just flat out dive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I was gonna ask, I don't know if you ever watched any of Awkward's videos where he's like damaged before the fight, you know, like no matter what. My question is like, if you already have ultimate and like all you're gonna be doing is like charging enemy support ultimates, do you still agree that you should be doing damage before the fight?
Yeah, no, like it's the reason why you still do it is because A, you can still find a pick in some kind of a situational scenario, and B, the reason why it's important to still poke them is that it slows their approach. If someone's getting poked by if the Genji's getting poked by a Sojourn from distance, even if both supports have support ults, the fact that you're threatening the Genji from walking up is the entire point of it. So yeah, it's the threat of being shot and it slows their approach is the main reason why. Again, you will still shoot. When
So it
the
doesn't matter
supports
that
are
you're
shot. Yeah,
wasting.
it's irrelevant. Don't worry about it.
Or sorry, it doesn't matter that you're charging support ults
It
as
does not
long as you're
matter.
wasting time off the clock.
Right. It does. Trust me. If it was a big issue or a concern, you would see pros not shoot at all when supports have got ultimates. But yeah. Still all slump bans.
I was too busy talking, but this will be interesting. I feel like attacking on this map is absolutely fucking AIDS, but
Yeah, I mean, it gets better on third point. Well, I think it gets better as the map develops because on first point you can only really go the top left high grounds, or you can sell up to the boss and then sell up to the high ground. But that's still not great either, because there's not much cover for you to use. So the main thing's gonna be playing top left high ground here for sure.
yeah.
All of us.
I think after first point's cracked though, you should be, or you should have an easier time.
Ik sta te popelen.
Hey there.
5, 4, 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Warrior carry, Sojourn Torb, Sig, okay. Relatively mobile comp. Okay, they've got Sim.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Sim Bastion, pretty immobile. Okay,
I can push up here pretty safely.
it'll be fine-ish. Nice DS. Let's get the Sim orbs. Nice roll gun. You can force up the Sim. Take the high ground now. Nice. Take head stops above you. Nice. Fine. Nice rail. Okay. You can maybe. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Okay. I think that's fine.
Good.
Okay. One thing you might want to consider is DSing the Sim TP so she can't take it back. Or again, it passively destroys it. When you see an opportunity to do that. Okay. We'll see here. If going to split doesn't work, you might need to consider going under. Mainly because it gives you a more aggressive angle. Or coast side as well is fine.
Up here.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, the Van's gonna be matching you there. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay. Okay. I would get off. I would try. Okay, fine. I'm not a massive fan of pushing top left there as a stacked team because you've got no angle if you're just shooting a Ryan shield. I would much prefer you to actually flanking left side there to take a better angle on coast side. Okay. Still 2 people up though. Bench of Sim, fine. Right behind you. Okay, hopefully the map opens up a little bit more now. It makes it less awkward. You can maybe set that high ground to the top right. Yeah, try and get that map easy if you can. Nice DS. Zoning. Portion of railgun. Okay. Split the turrets. No big concern. Okay, fine. The Zin's feeding his brains out. A little bit more patience on the railgun there. Okay. It might be DS. Yeah, nice. Really good DS. DP, just DP that. Fine, just get 2 kills with beyond window. Okay, give me pushing up with your flux. Yeah. I don't need. Yeah, you don't need to overclock that.
Okay, I didn't need it.
Why did you overclock that?
I had been looking for it, like, I don't know, 5-10 seconds earlier when more people were alive, but one of the things I'm really bad at is, like, keeping track of the kill feed up right.
Yeah, I mean, considering you already got 2 kills with that, there was already 1. Again, you need to be paying attention to the aggression of your teammates to dictate that.
That's true.
Try and slide to top right here. To the high grounds. Yeah, angles not great here. Go left side, go left. Take a flank, take a flank, take a flank, take a flank. Can't be shooting shield all the time. Okay, nice. You can maybe set up to the high ground, slide away. Nice. Slide away, slide away, slide away. Woo! Nice. Oh my days, that's a really good pick. Again, now push back the same angle, push back the same angle. You can push it safely. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Nice. Round that bastion, nice. Okay, slide away. That's unfortunate. So yeah, we can talk about that afterwards. But again, a lot of you pushing the angle there is how safe you're doing it. And I think one thing you can consider is maybe sliding up to the high ground there a little bit earlier, such that again they can't actually push you. Right? Bastion can't really push you. Sim can't really push you. It's hard for Baptiste to push you.
High ground or the one up here? You mean?
The hard back high ground essentially. That's also good as well. That high ground that you just went to. Okay. Okay, DS is not great. That's fine.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be more of them sitting in the back line.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, you're too far on the open there. I would have backed off. Well, the second you got to like half HP, I would have backed off to the doorway you came from, so you've got a cleaner escape path because you haven't really got an escape path there when you went out to the high grounds.
Yeah, I tunneled that Juno.
Yeah. Okay. Try go left side, go into the left side of him. You can go pretty wide in maybe. Your Mori's going on the targets. Nice. Good angle. Yeah, you can zone that back line. Yeah, burn that Zen. Oh, okay, unfortunately you wasn't aware of the sim there. You got capped though. Okay, take the high ground here on 3rd points.
Recalculating.
Surrender to my will. Nice. Got 1 pick there from the Juno. You want a 5v4. The backs, yeah, nice. Found the zone. Nice. Now flank. Go left side. Go left side. Yeah, need to move. Okay. Fine. Okay.
Bastion.
It's got the Bastion. You can swing left. You can still a little bit wide to the left there, like all the way coast side. Left. Yeah, nice. Now flank left. This would be a good time to overclock after the wall goes down. After the wall. Overclock now. I need to be a bit earlier, but it's fine. Okay. Nice slide is nice. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's messing up the micro there, right? But barring that, again, you got the pick onto the Zen. You're just out in open space. I would have slid way earlier when the Ryan was pinning into you. Because it's like it's like watching the inevitable occur. But the overclock itself was decent in terms of its timing. Okay. No, your team's barely down here. I don't need to drop off the high ground now. I don't need to drop off. Okay.
That feels much
Yeah, just
better.
watch your team come back. Or you can start pushing up slowly. Right.
TP it up the high ground.
Yeah. Thinking why that's good. You can maybe DS it if you need to. Yeah, start, leave. Ooh. A good thing you had distance there. Okay. You can maybe go left side here, like all the way left. You're down one. Okay. Unfortunate. Good reaction time, but just a little bit far off. And nothing too much else you could have done there. They were all just playing high ground. Your team didn't clear it. Only thing maybe is a slide deep left. Maybe, but that's really thin. But yeah, it's hard when the Bash is on high ground beaming your tank. Okay.
I feel like a lot of times in this situation, I just prefer to go bottom with my team, just because like.
Yeah, no, I
You
mean, I
know,
think one thing you could have
like-
done there maybe is re-push the high grounds after you left it, because they're not going to be thinking about you pushing it back. Nice kill there. Okay, fight's okay. Okay, keep in mind you're one up. Let's go all the way coast, go all the way coast, go all the way left, go all the way left, go all the way left, go all the way left. Okay.
I feel like someone's gonna come out of spawn and get fucked.
Okay, full strands, which is good. By the way, is good.
Down 2 people.
Bastion.
What was that one?
I wouldn't because the kills are so quick. I'm worried too much about the spawn. I would have literally just walked forward and then you could slide back to your team. I wouldn't be concerned about that too much. Especially if you do it quickly. Like I think the second you get your team gets those kills, then like immediately you've got like a 10-15 second window to actually push left side. But yeah. Okay. We'll see here.
We're in this together.
Sorry, I realized that we're gonna end up going.
Nah,
over
don't
the
worry.
hour, so
Don't worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
leave it at 9.
Or expect
That's all
to
good.
lose.
You can maybe get to that spawn and fire at the short. I'm not sure how. It might be probably haven't got enough time for that now. Yeah.
He's like putting it on their spawn door. I feel like it's such a long cooldown that if I do that, I'll end up in a situation where I don't have
You'll
it.
trust me. You'll get it back. I think it's too late now though. Maybe I don't know.
5, 4, 3.
I wouldn't go that close to that spawn, but yeah, okay. Hey, that's a holy that 15%. I'm okay. Wow.
Five out there.
Damn. Not expecting that much. Okay. Hey, I would have kept the high gun there. Go high, go high, go high. Go top right, go top right, go top right. Ooh. Hey, look at you can't see anything. Look at your angle. Look, you've got no angle. Push. Okay, look at the May. Fine. Nice. It's just a case of too little, too late there, I think. Yeah. Like you eventually took the angle, you know, but again, that May kill needs to come way, way, way quicker. Because again, you couldn't see anything there for like a good 10 seconds. Okay, we'll see
I
here.
feel like that's why I don't disruptor shot their spawn, is that like I can't possibly be in a good position.
And you could have stayed high gun there. That was completely fine. They went low gun. That was completely reasonable to stay there. Okay, yeah, your tank's down.
Good.
Keep in mind their comp has very, very little mobility. Very little mobility. You can really move around them as much as you want, and you're not gonna get punished for it.
That's the stuff.
Okay, you picking out is fine. Okay, nice. Guns Discord, good. Diving the May is fine. Yeah, a little bit more patient on the roll, but it's fine. You can right, yeah, it's a little bit of awareness there.
Unlocked.
That's unfortunate.
I heard him behind me. I thought he was downstairs though.
Okay. Not looking great. Okay. See. Yeah, you can walk forward here. You're down, yeah. Don't overclock, do not overclock that, do not overclock it. Okay, get back. We're fine. Okay, maybe a soldier isn't there. Okay, spamming out's fine. I would maybe go right sided to look for a better angle, like all the way coast side. Nice, better angle. Good OC, I like it. Okay, maybe your team's ulting way too much though. But your OC, like look how much better the OC was, right? Okay, that's unfortunate you died there. They're probably a little bit too aggro. And maybe could have stood out there. But that OC was a lot better. Like you took the angle, mid fight, really good sight line onto the back line. Tank couldn't do anything about it. You guys are dying for no reason here though, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Tank D-Mech too. Oh yeah, that's rough. Okay, I didn't want to say it because you probably wouldn't have done it in time, but once you got to the angle, and once you saw your D.Va get the D-Mech, I would have gone all the way right side into the high ground run. To look for a play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like you're gonna lose this anyways. You might as well doesn't have a risky play. I mean that's lost. Yeah, that's okay. We can give me that replay code and we'll glance over defense because there's like 2 or 3 things. You lost like 2 or 3 fights there on defense, which costed the entire round. That's something I want to go over.
Yeah.
Eight 9 Q to HK. All right, we'll skip the defense. There's a lot of interesting stuff that I want to note. So you fired DS at the doorway or at the spawn door. Yeah, this defense is really short.
So I never do that, and I usually always set up on the left side of high ground on defense.
Right. Okay, so like I don't mind. I don't think it's that detrimental for you to stay here, essentially, or for you to like essentially play here. And also, I'm pretty sure you can DS. I've got my epic pen. I'm pretty sure you can DS from this corner
from
here.
on top of bus.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. I don't think you can actually get back to it, but I'm pretty sure you can DS this corner. Just walk back normally, stand on top of the car, and slide back here. Anyways, like I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way. You'll get back to high ground. You'll be fine. But here's fine. And I get confused because you're staying high ground here, and I guess the question here becomes like, why leave it?
I was trying to get back to the left side high ground. That was the only thing in my mind.
Right. Right. You're tunneled on that, right? Yeah.
I've never DS spawn door before and thought that I would have more time, which I absolutely did not, and so I wasn't prepared for that. But
yeah. I mean, again, in that situation, you didn't have more time to get back top left because of how close you were playing. Like, this is obviously further away than this. But still, top right's fine. And again, I think the second you see their Ryan play main, you know this angle's like completely free. And I wanted you to be here significantly sooner. So was it 349? How long do you stay here for? Right, like now you start taking the angle like a good 8 seconds where you could have actually looked for a trade or threat. Like imagine a DS here. Like that is insane value. Like their Zen, their Bastion just cannot walk in this sort of choke, right? They can't walk around the corner. Yeah. It's just incredible value. So yeah, whereas here obviously your LOS, the what you can actually see is limited. So your DS is gonna be limited therefore. So yeah, a bit unfortunate there. Okay. And something to also realize against this comp too, and this is something that you need to be looking at whenever you I guess general and ranked, right? But look at the mobility of their comp. These guys, if you play high ground here, they cannot reach you. They can never reach you. So this is why I was kind of alluding to the fact that hey, you can actually stay at high ground. You can just take any angle you want against that comp, and they will never come for you. Well, they should never come for you. Of course, the Ryan did here, but that was mainly because your tank was like coming back from spawn, so the Ryan had time to come and flush you out. But generally, looking for poke is completely reasonable as long as you've got a clear escape path and you know where they're coming from. But yeah,
Lost.
okay.
After this.
Of course, then you just die to the Ryan, I think. Yeah. Right, and then this point here. Yeah, this is already lost. Like here, it's like this is like the I guess textbook is where you could describe it, but this is kind of what OC is really all about. Where it just what a nice way you can think about it is it enhances the damage you already do from your angle. So here's all you've got a good angle here already, right? You can still get plenty of value from here, even without OC, right? You're about to peak the Zen here, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3 valuable targets to go for, and you've got a nice cover, and you can retreat back if you need to because you've got way more. You've got plenty of distance. You're fine. This is a great angle, right? And of course you can DS it if you really need to, right? But good angle, right? And fortunate your soldier ends up popping visor here as well, right? But again, you can see how much more value you get from this OC compared to the first one you did this round. But yeah, more of this needs to happen. More of this. And also one small thing as well. You're firing your shots at around what 60, 70 charge, which is fine. But the reason why I prefer you to like just have a little bit more charge with it is it gives you more time to actually hit your shots. Fortunately, these guys are running. Most everyone here in this comp, barring the Juno, have very nice hitboxes to hit. So maybe you don't need to wait there as long. But something to keep in mind of because you do rush your OCs quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, and also one thing I say I'm not gonna mention. It's not a big thing for you at this level. But it's really important the higher you go up, which is to not make sure you get traded out when you've won fights. Because these two trades here are really, really important. Because it means that you can't potentially get a pick next fight. It means you can't charge your ultimate up for next fight. All kinds of negative effects. So yeah. Alright. We'll do a quick summary of all the points. We'll say... we'll use this. I think even though it's not something that we particularly seen a lot of, but mainly because it's so important, and I think it's pretty easy to fix, which is just overclock, patience. And I use the word patience in two ways. The first way, like I'll say like A. The first way is in terms of like not wasting it at the end of a fight, which again is something that we saw on attack. And I guess that the biggest thing to changing that is paying attention to the visual cues that occur on your screen, and the sound cues too, right? So you heard and saw your Sigma use ultimates. You saw yourself get kills, because you were the guy that got 2 kills that fight before you used Overclock, you know? So even you didn't even need to necessarily look at the kill feed, though it is very important to look at it. Just by virtue of, again, paying attention to the aggression that you were outputting, the aggression your Sigma was outputting. You never need to overclock that in the first place. And then patience also in terms of, again, not or avoiding to spam out. And it's something we saw a bit on Antarctic Peninsula during the first overclock. Again, nothing groundbreaking, but again, I think it's the reason why I'm putting this as the first point is because you can and are capable of getting very good OCs, and OCs is a broken ultimates. So yeah. Second thing has to be like I guess more dynamic. I'll say like dynamic positioning. So to give some examples of what I mean by that. So first point, defense on Numbani, right, where you stood in that position for 8 seconds and didn't go to high ground in time. So I could have gone there a little bit sooner. Right, so we didn't get to it specifically, but some movements on Antarctic Peninsula where when the ball dove, you need to slide away quicker. In fairness, your first slide was pretty good. Thanks, I'll reference like your first slide on Antarctic Peninsula was really good. And then also pushing up / rotating up after front divers, I'll say, are out. Right, so again, we saw the example where you're spamming out their ball, and then he was rolling away, and then again you could have maybe slid to the top right high ground to get a better, wider angle to look for a better kill. Again, I think we saw here as well to some extent too. Actually, no, it wasn't where it was. Never mind. But yeah, I think again, generally what you do, and this is generally how stats you play the game, where if you move up to a better, wider angle, you'll see more, and you'll never be in the predicament where you'll be shooting the enemy tank with SMG shots. So again, I guess I'll put in like LOS or wider LOS. And third point, let me think. Oh yeah, just off the shot, obviously. Shots. I'll call it like, yeah, I'll call it zoning. Zoning and prevention. You can use either of those terms. So I guess that there's two ways to this, right? So A. Right, so like against divers, to force them out. So again, one thing you can do, right? I'm not saying that if Tracer has full blinks, you need to DS the corner immediately. But one thing you can look out for is when she goes in open space, or if a Genji goes in open space. I mean, Genji's been more manageable because he's only got one movement cooldown to use. But any of those in terms of like, hey, I can DS this corner, I can force this person to move, and by doing that, I can force them to actually not dive me in the first place. So I'll say like, avoid diving first place. And yeah, Dynamite is really good for this as well. Even Master Ashes, I actually coached an Ash who was Masters a week ago, and this was a major point. They never use dives to clear a Tracer, and they ended up getting destroyed by them. Second point to this as well is, again, mainly to zone areas that you want to aggress on. So again, to give some examples of that, again, Nambani first point defense, where you could have gone on that amazing zonal disruptor shot when you could have pushed to the high grounds, and that would have destroyed the Bastion, destroyed the Zen, could have been very valuable there. Another example could have been on Antarctic Peninsula, where you actually did get a good disruptor shot. You know, your soldier was running out, the Genji dashed in, and then by disruptor shotting it, you essentially suction that bit of the map off. So that would be a good example of it there too. But yeah, I guess those are all the 3 points, or all the 3 major points: overclocking, dynamic positioning, and making sure you're moving a lot more, and a lot more thoughtful disruptor shot usage. But anything else? Any questions? Any queries? Any concerns?
No, I think that's pretty good. I think it's a lot of things.
Good to hear.